second graders, we have our math video for today. It's Thursday. This is our last math video of the week, and it's the last day that we are going to be talking about adding two-digit numbers with some of these strategies before we move into subtraction. Now, that doesn't mean we're done with addition. We're going to learn a little bit about addition, a little bit about subtraction, and then we're going to come back and the addition's going to get a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So I want you to make sure that you're paying close attention to today's lesson, because this idea that we're going to talk about using a hundreds chart, we're going to use next week too when we talk about subtraction. So here we go. Today we are going to learn how to use a hundreds chart to add two-digit numbers. All right, let's talk a little bit about the hundreds chart first to make sure that we recognize some of the same patterns. A hundreds chart always begins with the number 1. It ends with the number 100. Mrs. Grant, do you notice any patterns on the hundreds chart as you look either across the rows or down the columns?
One thing I notice is that there's 10 numbers across each row. Rows go side to side.
Yep, that is extremely important. Now, if I were to go all the way to the number 10, for example, can you tell me what you notice about going down this row?
I can. I notice that as I go down the columns go up and down, that it increases by 10. So 10, 20, I can skip count by 10s all the way down. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
You got it. Now I have a question. Let's go to say number 5, for example. If I were to go down to the next row, am I still counting by 10s?
Yeah, because if I get from 5 to 15, I just added 10. 15 to 25 is 10 more. I could go over to 53 and go down one group, and I'm 10 more.
All right. So, would you agree that if you move down a row, we add 10?
Yes.
All right. That is going to be very important for today's lesson. So, I could pick any number on this hundreds chart. Okay, so I'm going to pick the number 47. Find it.
47.
And I want you to add 10 quickly.
Boom, I just go down one square.
You got it.
What if I wanted to add 20?
Oh, awesome question.
Back to 47. What should I do?
So 20 is really 2 groups of 10, which means you're going to jump down 2 times.
10, 20, 67.
Yes.
Oh, that's so easy.
So 47 plus 20 is 67.
Wow.
Now, I'm not done. I want to know what happens as we move across a row.
Okay. So
how many are we adding as we move across?
All right. If I start at 64 and I just move 1 over, I'm at 65. So I just added 1.
You are only adding 1 as you move to the right across the hundreds chart.
Okay.
All right. Now there's one really important thing that second graders have to know about this hundreds chart.
What?
Let's say that I'm at the end of a row, 70. I'm at the number 70 and I want to add 1 more.
There's nothing to the right. How do I add 1 more?
Could we give up?
No.
No, we don't give up. What could we do to add 1 more? Where do you think the next number belongs if we're adding 1?
I know that 70 plus 1 is 71.
Yeah.
And that's at the beginning of the next row.
So anytime we are counting and we get to the end of the row, we need to go back to the beginning of the next row in order to continue counting.
Okay, that's a helpful tip.
It is. We're going to use all of that today in order to answer a couple questions.
Okay.
You are welcome to look over this again on your own, or if you need extra help with the directions at home. But let's take a look at number 1. And I'm going to teach you how to use this hundreds chart to get your answer. Now, really quickly, I just remembered. I'm going to be writing on here and I'm going to be erasing each time, but our students have hundreds charts in their folders that we gave them inside of a clear pocket. And you know what's cool about the clear pocket?
What?
You can use a whiteboard marker or a dry erase marker and an eraser on top of that.
So I shouldn't take the hundreds chart out of the clear plastic pocket and write with a marker. I should leave it in the pocket.
Yep.
And if I write on the hundreds chart with the clear plastic pocket between the paper and my marker, then I can erase the plastic pocket?
Yes.
Was that specific enough?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was pretty clear. So you're welcome to write on here if you want. It might just get a little bit messy as you do multiple problems. So that one in your folder, and there's one in each of your folders, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 1 is the number 12 plus 11. I don't care what number you start with, but to make today's lesson easier, I'm just going to start with that first number. So the first number is 12. Mrs. Grant, can you show me where the number 12 is on our hundreds chart?
It's right here.
All right. So I'm going to circle the number 12 on the hundreds chart. That is my starting point.
Okay.
All right. Now I need to add the number 11, but I want you to look at the number 11. If I draw a line here, I notice that I have my 10s, I'm going to write a T, and my 1s, I'm going to write an O. I am going to use this number and I'm going to add it onto the hundreds chart. I'm going to start by adding my 10s. There is one group of 10 in the number 11. How do we jump a group of 10 on the hundreds chart?
I just go down 1.
Yep, you go down 1. So from my circle, I'm going to go down 1 to 22.
Okay.
But I'm not done. I also need to add 1 in my ones place. How do we add our ones on the hundreds chart?
Easy. I just go to the right 1 space.
You got it. We just go to the 1 and we get our answer, 23.
Wow.
I'm going to write that here. All right. This is where it might start getting messy if we keep writing on the screen. So would you mind erasing that problem just so we don't get confused? Let's do another one together because practice makes perfect, or almost perfect. All right, our next problem is 31 plus 45. What should we do first?
We need to circle our starting number, which is 31.
All right, so here's 31 on the hundreds chart, and now we are going to add the number 45. I really like cutting that number in half. It seems a lot easier. So I'm going to cut 45 in half. These are my 10s. These are my 1s. And you notice it spells the word 2. You do it correctly. If you wrote ot, you got it wrong. T-O, 10s and 1s. All right. I have 4 10s this time. How are we going to move 4 10s on the hundreds chart?
Well, every time I move down, it's a group of 10. So this number under the 10s, or the T's, just tells us how many spaces to move down.
You got it.
So I need to move down 4 spaces. So if I started here, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. So I'm going to draw a line to that 71, 4 spaces down. And what do we need to do next?
When I go to the 1s column, whatever number is in the 1s column tells me how many spaces to move to the right. So I'm going to start here where I ended up, and then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is where my answer is.
Awesome. So our answer is 76. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Do you mind if I try one?
I would love to see if my teaching has paid off.
Let's see. Okay, I'm excited. This is fun using a hundreds chart, not a ones chart. I'm going to do number 3. There's a whole bunch of these problems on the back of the page, which you're still going to use your hundreds chart for. So even though we're doing a lot of the ones on the front, you have a lot more to do on the back on your own. So don't worry, you'll get to do some on your own. All right, number 3 is 81 plus 14. And the first number is 81. That's where I'm going to start, and it looks like it's right here. So here's 81. My second number is what I'm going to add, the numbers I'm going to move. So I'm going to do what you did because I thought it was really helpful to split that number in half. And then I have TO, 2, 10s and 1s. And under my T, I have 1 group. So that means I'm only going to go down 1 row.
Exactly.
So I'm going to drop down 1, draw a line down 1 row. And then my 1s column, I have 4 1s. That tells me how many spaces to move to the right. So I'm going to move 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I end up at 95.
Great job.
Good teaching. Yeah.
All right, should we do one more with them, and then they're going to be on their own for the rest of this page?
Sounds good.
All right. So the last problem that we're going to do together before you're on your own for the rest of this assignment is the number 48 plus 51. So let's go ahead and find 48 on our hundreds chart.
There it is.
All right. And then for our 51, let's split that in half.
Okay.
Let's write TO.
10s and 1s.
And now we're going to add our 10s. We have 5 10s to add.
So we're going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to the bottom. Wow.
Whoa, that's going to be a big number.
Yep.
And then we only have 1 in our ones place.
And that tells me how many to go to the right. So I'm going to move 1 to the right. And my answer is 99.
There you go.
99.
All right. So boys and girls, you're going to do the rest of this page on your own. And I do just want to remind you that if at any point you're having trouble doing the math, not only will we try to go over this a little bit in our reading groups, but we also have office hours at 2 o'clock. So please don't be afraid to come and join us and get some extra help, and we'll be there to help you out.